joint which joins the lower appendicular skeleton with the axial skeleton. And you can figure out the name, I'll bet you. When you give the name of the joint, you give the proximal more bone first and the distal more second. So, what's the proximal bone? Sacrum. What's the distal bone? Now, what part of this bone? Not just the whole ostocsen. What part is this on? Ilium. So what do you call that joint?
Iliac.
Sacroiliac. You ever hear that? No, that's because you're not an old person. Me neither. That doesn't bother me. But a lot of old people, they say, "Oh, my sacroiliac is killing me," and they're walking around like this. I don't know why it aches, but it's known to. And even if it doesn't cause you any pain, in fact, Vernon said that it doesn't cause you any pain on the next test.
Sacroiliac. Lower
Sacroiliac. What is that? Joint between the axial skeleton and the lower appendicular. It is parallel to the manubrioclavicular. I want you to learn the name of both of those joints. All right. Now, so it is by virtue of the auricular surface that these two are joined. And you can see, by the way, when you put the sacrum on there, suddenly this arcuate line takes on meaning. See how that it suddenly becomes part of the pelvic rim. Now we've got the pubic tuberosities coming forward, and they join to form an important portion. They join together at the pubic symphysis. Symphysis. And we're going to talk about this. With any luck, I'm going to get to some articulations joints today. Condition of growing together. Physis, in this case, means growth together. The pubic symphysis is joined together by fibrocartilage. And I think we've alluded to this already. I'm not sure under what circumstances. Oh, I know when you're talking about fibrocartilage. In the third trimester of pregnancy, especially the last month or two, there are agents released by the pregnant woman to soften this baby up. And there is an instinctive desire to do this. And I think when you go to childbirth classes, they will have you do exercises to kind of pull that pubic symphysis apart. I mean, stretch it. Why?
More room.
I am the pelvic rim. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a big baby. But suppose it's bigger than that. How can you make the birth canal bigger?
Light.
Pulling apart the pubic symphysis. Got it? All right. Now, let's compare male and female pelvises. And I will show you pictures, if I don't show you the pelvises themselves, and expect you to be able to distinguish between male and female. Now, there's a whole lot of characteristics that we could talk about, but I will give you the ones that are most dependent. You know these symbols, right?
Yes.
This is Mars with his sword. This is Venus's looking glass. By the way, I have, as I like to do, I've reworked my notes. If you printed them out yesterday, they're still going to work, but I've tried to clarify some things I sometimes My big thing these days is to put word stems inside brackets with quotes so that they stand out a little more. All right. Narrow, ischial tuberosities. How about the female? Wide or wider. An examining physician. If you go to an obstetrician and you're pregnant and he wants to get an idea about how challenging labor is going to be, which is always challenging, by the way. I don't know that they exactly do it like this, but I can tell you how you do it with chickens to see if they're laying eggs or not. I read a handbook for rural midwives that said you take a fist and see if it fits in between the ischial tuberosities. Fits easily. Won't. Okay. Not hard. Likewise, we got chickens in here. So if you want to know whether your chickens are laying eggs, which is the right one, they better have wide ischial tuberosities. So you pick the chicken up, you get very personal, 2 fingers, and see if your fingers will fit between the ischial tuberosities. If they're like this, depending on how old it is and how much you like stewed chicken. Wide ischial tuberosities means they are layers. All right. Maybe you'll use that, maybe you won't. Pubic angle. Now this is actually, so to know what's wide and what's narrow, you almost have to have 2 to compare with. In my opinion, the easiest, most recognizable feature, and I suggest using this on the test, pubic angle. Oh, I erased it just when I didn't want to. Okay. Acute. You girls probably didn't know that men have acute pubic angle. And yours is
Obtuse.
obtuse. Is there 1 or 2 C's? I think there's 2 C's. 1. It doesn't look right. Thank you. Acute is less than 90 degrees. Obtuse is more than 90 degrees. So, what's this one? That's acute. Therefore, this is a male. What's this one? Obtuse. Pubic angle. Sorry. I had it drawn up here. I will. This angle. Well, that's the one you can tell from back there, back in the cheap seats.
In the cheeks.
Now, there are other ways. Which one of these is a more massive set of bones? Males have stronger, more massive bones. So that's one that you almost have to have. This one you don't need in a comparison because what's the definition of obtuse? Greater than 90 degrees. And acute, narrow. All right, so more massive. And this is more delicate. Now, they're also the obturator foramen, this guy, in the male, oval. And in the female, see? That's supposed to be oval. That's supposed to be triangle. No, wrong. I better look at this. Yeah, that is supposed to be oval. It looks like it. I don't think that's very good. But this is supposed to be a triangle, and that's supposed to be an oval. That's why I'm sticking with, especially the pubic angle, the ischiotuberosities. Finally, and again, this requires comparison. What are these points called? I'm going to ask you what these points are called on the test.
Iliac crest,
Anterior, superior,
iliac spine.
iliac spines. Now, guess where they are on a female? Narrow. On a male. On a male, narrow, female, wide. And partly because the false pelvis of the female is going to be supporting a growing fetus and needs more support. Male doesn't do that. All right. Anything else we want to say about that? No. Okay, moving right along. So, what is the most proximal bone of the upper appendicular skeleton?
Oh.
Top side. All right. You know, that doesn't look too bad. That one looks pretty bad. Not as bad. Next bone. The femur. Femur means, and then you need some space because we're going to draw a big long femur, means thigh. We do not call this the leg. We call this the thigh. This is the leg. And we're going to draw an anterior view of the right femur. And I'd like you to have your book open to, oh, by the way, all those discussions of male and female pelvises, 252, 253. Now we're on page 55. Perfectly round ball with a little depression in the center of it. We'll talk about that in a second. Then it has a neck. So this is the head. The word for depression is fovea. The fovea of the head, how would you say of the head? What's the word stand for head? When you remove the head, what's that called? Decapitation. Fovea capitis. It is the attachment of a round ligament which holds the head of the femur into the, what's this cup called? Acetabulum. So there is a ligament, holds those together. The word stem for round is teres. You can use that in muscles too. So T-E-R-E-S, teres ligamentum. Ligamentum teres, sorry. I don't know. Ligamentum teres. T-E-R-E-S. And what do you think the function of the ligamentum teres is? Keep your hip from falling apart. Okay. Now, there are two major, they're so big they're not even called processes.